Hi everyone, welcome to mentoring sessions, the very first one of 2021. Yeah, 2021. Okay, so how was your 2020? I think a lot of people were upset and rather unfair to 2020 if you ask me. 2020 we're mean to 2020, we're rather unkind to 2020, and that's because 2020 came like a bully. We started out great, but midway in the year, things turned upside down. And I heard a lot of people say things like, can we just get rid of the year already? Can we just throw it away already? I'm one of those people that believe you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So, as crazy as 2020 was, I learned a couple of things. And today we're going to start with 20 things that I learned from 2020. Okay, so 20 things that I learned from 2020, and I really hope that it will bless you and there are lessons that you can work with in 2021. Okay, so let's get right into it. First one is the fact that, number one, relationships matter. Okay, in 2020, more than any other year, I learned that relationships matter. Well, right relationships. So in 2020, I found out that because there was a major lockdown, everywhere there was a lockdown and things pretty much slowed down, businesses closed, a lot of things changed. A lot of things changed. In fact, life as we know it really changed, and there was what we call the new normal. But the relationships that I built over the years were the relationships that helped me sustain in 2020. So I could reach out to people who I had had relationships with in the past, people who I had had great friendships with in the past, people who I could learn from. They became my support system. I found out that connections, networking became really important in 2020. So it wasn't necessarily just a year where you could do it on your own. It was a year where you needed to collaborate with people. So my number one major lesson from 2020 would be that relationships matter. And like I said, the right ones, okay? So number two, family is important. Oh, 2020 taught me that family, if not anything else, family is so important. You know how we're locked down and we're forced, for some of us, forced to live with people that we barely live. You know how you're a member of a family, or you're even with your spouse. When I mean family, I mean both nuclear and extended family. So you know how you live with your husband, and even though you live together, you barely see each other. You know how, if you live in Lagos, for instance, the part of the world where I live, traffic is crazy. So some people go to work in the morning, get back very late, so they barely even get to talk and all of that. When the lockdown happened, it was just, we're like on a treadmill going nowhere. And then 2020 forced us to just stop everything and live together. And then it occurred to me that the other people we have used to fill our lives, we didn't have so much access to them anymore. Friends, business associates, colleagues at work, all of a sudden they didn't seem so important anymore. The people who we were shut in houses with were our family members. And then it made it also real to me that family is everything, and there were so many moments where I would call, reach out to my siblings, just reliving some of the old times. It just made me know that these things are the real things that matter, the things that are important. So it's not the people we meet at work, because we couldn't work. People that we meet at salons, we couldn't even go to salons anymore. People couldn't hang out so much. We couldn't go to dinner with friends. We couldn't go to the cinemas. We couldn't really do anything. So the people we were stuck with, at the end of the day, I felt like 2020 took everything away and showed us what was really important. We had clarity. And one of the things that was major clarity for me was that family is really all that I have. They're the ones that when the chips are down, they're the ones you really, really have. Okay? Third thing that 2020 taught me is that, okay, and I'm going to say this carefully because I know some people are going to be like, I didn't really agree, but I'm just going to tell you what I learned. Maybe you didn't learn that one, but maybe you learned it sharp. I'm just saying. So third thing is that money is overrated. Yeah, that's thinking. Money is overrated. So 2020 taught me that in fact, I think that we overemphasize money, and it's not the only currency that we have. And 2020 taught me that. When we couldn't earn as much, for some people couldn't earn as much. I earned a lot more than I normally do, funny enough, in 2020. But one of the things God taught me is that favor is a more well-rounded currency than money, because favor can bring you even the things that money cannot buy. Some people can just love you and give you something. So I had this thing that I was doing in 2020 a lot. No, before 2020, I used to pray about my finances. So I would pray about, I want to be blessed in every currency. I want to have money, so I would need no aid or support. I had scriptures. I was bound in and I had a lot of scriptures. And then one day, God said to me, you really don't need money. And I was like, I don't need money. Sir, everybody needs money, sir. Please, let's not even go there. Because you even said it that money is a defense and money answers all things. Sir, this is your word. So while I was having that conversation, and the Holy Spirit said, you just tell me what you need. I never said, ask me for money for what you need. I said, ask me for what you need, and I will supply all your needs. And money is not the only thing you need. So I was like, okay, I need food stuff for this. And just as I'm thinking about it, someone would just call me and say, the Lord said I should supply you tomatoes and pepper for 6 months. I'm like, what? He's like, so I'm trying to teach you that favor will get you even the things that money can't get you. And so it was an eye-opening moment for me in 2020. Almost all the things that God blessed me with, I didn't have to part with cash. Cash is such a low way to live in life. And I know that a lot of people might not agree. Yeah, you can say it now. People, that's what you say before. Shemi, you get. Now, who no get. That's not. I'm not saying money is not important. I'm just saying that it's overrated, because you can get a lot more things by favor. And the things you get by labor, like struggling and getting money and buying, is not as sweet as the things that you get by favor. So let me give you an example. Someone says, I'm taking you out for dinner. Order anything you like. See, if somebody that you know can afford it is taking you out for dinner and you're greedy, let me just drop that in there, and you're greedy, what you will do is that when they bring the menu, you are going to be looking on the left side, not the right side of the menu. But if you are the one taking yourself out and you are looking at the list, when you're looking on the right side and seeing the price list, you dare not just go to the restaurant and say, give me lobster. What do you drink? Your account that will slap you that we are eating lobster now. You see your mouth like lobster. You will know, you will shock back into reality that no, I can't order that. But if you go with someone who says, anything, I'll pay, and like I said, you are greedy, you will order without even thinking about it. That's the difference. And when you eat that food that somebody else paid for, you will eat it with reckless abandon. Do you understand? You'll be racking bone, doing anything. But if you are the one that paid for it, when they even bring the food, and if it's an expensive restaurant, the more expensive the restaurant, the smaller the food. So when they bring the food and they just put one small cup of something and put one leaf on top, and they say 55,000. As you are eating, you'll be miserable. Inside you'll be paying you. That you don't want, you almost use your tongue to lick your plate so that the money, you will spend your money to the last drop. And that's the way life is. If you struggle for something, it's not as enjoyable as something that was just given to you as a blessing, as a gift. And that's what God taught me in 2020. That some things, it's not always about money. Money is just an overrated. What you should ask me for are the things you need, and desire favor, desire the blessing, desire that you will be so graced that you are bound in everything that you need, both material, earthly blessings, and the spiritual blessings, and the things that money cannot get you. So that's one of the major lessons I learned in 2020. Number 4. This one I learned again because I think it's my life lesson. God finds ways to teach me every year. Number 4 lesson I learned is to forgive quickly. There's no point. I just kept thinking in 2020. You may even be angry with someone because so many people died last year. You may be angry with them, and then the next second, they just tell you this person has died. And then you're left thinking, the last conversation we had was not nice. The last conversation we had was, I was borderline mean, and I will never get a chance to ask them for forgiveness. This is the last way I'm going to remember this person. So in 2020, I learned to move on quickly from things, not just for people, but for my own peace of mind and my sanity. And one of the things that a lot of people fought with in 2020 was their minds, not losing their minds, because just being shut down, being locked down, the world changed, everything changed so quickly, we barely caught our breath. So in 2020, I learned to forgive quickly because I heard too many stories of, oh, you just this person I just spoke to. And they say, oh, do you know this person as person? I'm like, it's not possible now. I just call them now. Wait, I just check. I'll just check my phone. Person's gone. So I really learned that life isn't promised to us. So let offenses go quickly. When people offend you, let it go. Because human beings are human beings. They will offend you. They will hurt you. You will hurt people. So forgiveness, not just forgiveness, but forgiveness that is done quickly. So forgive quickly. That was another lesson I learned in 2020. 2020 also taught me, number 5, to take care of myself. I'm not going to go into all that drama that I went through with married women about taking care of ourselves. But you matter. I'm just going to say it, you matter. And if you're not going to take care of yourself, sad thing is nobody's going to do it for you. People love you, but the truth is, until you take time and say, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to look out for myself. And I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm just talking about caring enough for yourself. So one of the things I've struggled with over the years was always looking out for everyone and ending up not looking out for myself. So my family, my children, my husband, friends, anyone close to me, I was always thinking of how to be a blessing to them, and I found out that I was wearing myself down, struggling with saying no to people. Oh, but this person needs me. Oh, but this person needs me. And then, it just hit me that you are not the El Shaddai. As I always say, if you think you are the El Shaddai, then you shall die. Because only God can satisfy everyone's needs without wearing out. 2020 taught me that you can't serve from an empty cup, okay? So there were so many moments that, I just knew that I needed to take a break. I needed to stop. So even when I would do things like praying with Pastor M, sometimes I'll just shut down. 2 days, 3 days, shut down. Like, everyone's going to be fine. Nobody's going to die, So I just take that time and just rest and just shut down. Literally shut down from everything and everyone. Sometimes it was sending my kids off with my sister. Go for Christmas, go and visit your auntie. I'm not the only auntie in the world. You people to go have auntie to go and visit them. So send my kids off and just rest, And I think that that's a lesson that I think we should take into the entire decade, not just 2020. Rest. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, actually. Take care of yourself.